Are the Arizona Cardinals legit? After a brutal schedule to open the season that included games against the Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions, Washington Commanders, San Francisco 49ers, and the Green Bay Packers, Arizona defeated the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football, a game we looked at on this channel to move to 4-4 and first place in the NFC West. But then they would have to take the dreaded road trip on a short week, something very hard for NFL teams to do. And to make matters worse, they had to fly all the way across the country to Miami to play a Dolphins team boosted by the return of Tua Tagovailoa. But by the end of that game, Arizona came away with an impressive victory. And don't take my word for it, because here on Josh's Football Breakdowns, we don't tell you what you're seeing, we let the film tell us what we're seeing. And what I saw when I looked at the tape was some of the most impressive gamesmanship I've ever seen in terms of the X's and O's. And this entire video is going to be presented to you ad-free after this short commercial break. I really hope you enjoy. Welcome back. There are a lot of great plays I want to show you in this game, so let's get right into it. The Dolphins would get the ball to start the game and would go on the move right away. And here they're facing a 3rd down and 9. Needing to get just past the 28-yard line for a first down, Tyreek Hill makes sure he runs past the sticks on the stop route. And turn your attention to the pocket. Tua is already winding up to throw this football. And we get a great look early at the chemistry between these two players. Miami would cap off the drive by punching it in with Raheem Mostert, striking first and taking the early lead, 7-0. And the Dolphins would get the ball back. Facing a 3rd down and 7, Tua starts looking to his left, but we can see this play is well defended. So he resets his feet and comes back to his right. And as soon as he does, Kaiser White breaks on the route and makes an impressive tackle in the open field. So this time Miami is forced to settle for the long field goal attempt, and they knock it through. Now I remember a long time ago Mike Tomlin talking about when you're playing these difficult road games, weather the storm. And when he said weather the storm, he meant keep the score to 10-0. And that's exactly what the Cardinals have done here. And when they get the ball back, they go right to work. Now, one thing that's going to be challenging for NFL defenses is how to defend against Marvin Harrison Jr. Here the Dolphins go into a zone, so Cam Smith will pass this route off to the linebacker, Jordan Brooks. But Marvin Harrison Jr. against a linebacker is a mismatch, and Brooks understandably has a bit of a hard time keeping up with Marvin Harrison Jr. In addition to that, as Harrison Jr. continues on his route, Brooks can't just pass him off to Jalen Ramsey because Ramsey is being held by the route of Trey McBride. Kyler Murray spots this and gets Marvin Harrison Jr. the football, and it's a gain of 25 yards on the play. And I stopped it here because I'm going to point something out I've never bothered to point out on this channel before. Watch Kyler Murray's right foot. Fake snap. Fake snap. Fake snap. No, this was the real one. So clearly Arizona came into this game with a plan to deal with the crowd noise. They're well coached, and I know it's a little thing, but a lot of football involves doing these little things right. James Conner also does a great job of helping with pass protection on this play, and Kyler Murray is very comfortable moving around in the pocket. Again, I know these are little things here, but this team is well coached and they're playing winning football. All right. We're in the second quarter now, so the teams have switched sides, but this is still the same drive. Arizona lines up with 3 tight ends and James Conner. Miami, clearly expecting a run, lines up with a 5-man front. But it's a pass, and Arizona has sent all 3 of their tight ends out on pass routes. And we see Trey McBride coming across. Now this is clearly an underneath throw. He's barely a yard past the line of scrimmage. But check out the route of the other tight end, Elijah Higgins. That's no accident, and it makes it harder for the linebacker to come over and cover Trey McBride. Long can't make the tackle, and McBride picks up the first down, and the Cardinals are moving the ball right down the field. But here Arizona faces an early test with a big 3rd down and goal, and Miami has a plan, sending what appears to be 6 pass rushers on the play, a big blitz. But as it would turn out, 2 of those guys would drop back into coverage. This is just simulated pressure. But of course, Arizona doesn't know who's coming and who's going, and as it turns out, Jalen Ramsey would come unblocked. It's worth noting here that the right tackle did the right thing, picking up the inside pass rush. And for the first time in this game, we get an example of Kyler Murray's otherworld ability as he makes Jalen Ramsey miss and then spots the wide open Michael Wilson in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Wow, what a play. Now, defensive tackles Calais Campbell and Deshaun Hand are not pass defenders, and they don't have to be for long. The idea is just to confuse the Cardinals for long enough for the pass rush to get home, and it almost worked. But if it doesn't work, you're vulnerable, and Kyler Murray made the Dolphins pay. And Jalen Ramsey can't believe he missed that tackle. Alright, we're going to move ahead to later in the second quarter, so let's talk about the game situation. The Dolphins have the ball on the 6-yard line threatening to score. It's only 2nd down, and even though there's just 56 seconds left in the half, they still have a timeout, so they could sneak in a run here. And that's exactly what they do, but not the way you might think. And from this point on in the game, we would start to see some really creative play designs between the two teams. They start off bringing the very speedy Devon Achane on the end around, but this is a running play for Raheem Mostert. Miami uses the right tackle to pin the defensive tackle to the inside, and they use the left guard to pick off the defensive end, Jesse Luketa. For good measure, they bring the tight end around to act as the lead blocker for Raheem Mostert. So why doesn't this play work? Jesse Luketa jukes the left guard and blows up this play. Not only does the stop bring up 3rd down, it also forces Miami to use their last timeout, and now they can't afford to run the ball, so Arizona knows this is probably going to be a pass play. Let's see how they choose to defend it. They send a blitz, leaving Tyreek Hill one-on-one, and under pressure, Tua takes the one-on-one matchup, and the defensive concept is successful. The pass falls incomplete. But was Dante Stills offsides? It's very close. He definitely moves before the snap, but is he in the neutral zone? It's hard to tell from this angle, and the officials don't throw the flag. But when we go back and take a look again from the other angle, we see something interesting. Watch Raheem Mostert here. He moves. That should have been a false start on Miami. Either way, the result is the same. The Dolphins have to settle for a field goal. And they knock it in, making the score 13-7. Let's move ahead to the third quarter. On the first play of the second half, Arizona would run a play we've looked at again and again and again on this channel. In fact, we covered this play on Sunday night, so let's go back and take a look at that. San Francisco fakes the run to one side and then sneaks a tight end out to the other side, one of their bread and butter plays. But watch Kyle Juszczyk on the end. He pretends to block and then turns around himself on a pass route. Okay, let's see how the Cardinals do it. They fake the run to James Conner on one side and sneak Elijah Higgins out to the other side. And Trey McBride blocks on the end, but instead of turning around, he continues out to the front side. Arizona has added a new wrinkle that they used for big effect here. And then McBride hurdles the defender and gains extra yardage on the play. Wow, 37-yard gain on the play. The drive would eventually stall, but the Cardinals would attempt a field goal, and it's a long one. You can see how far back he is. The kick is up, and it's good. 57 yards, and Arizona pulls within 3, 10-13. Miami would respond. They hand the ball off to Devon Achane and use the left guard and the left tackle Trenton Armstead to double team the left end. Armstead would chip and then head downfield to the linebacker level. The fullback would pick up Mack Wilson, and it's probably a good thing because Jalen Waddle whiffed on Wilson, but to his credit, Waddle finds a second man to block, Budda Baker. And he doesn't get a piece of Baker either, but he forces Baker to reroute, and as a result, Baker is not able to come over and make the tackle on Achane. And finally, with just a sliver of space now and a full head of steam, Achane is able to make a cut on Garrett Wilson. And he's off to the races, 50, 40, shedding tacklers, 30, and finally brought down at the 25-yard line. 47-yard gain on the play. And from this angle, we see another wrinkle. Since they're running to their left, they don't even bother to block the defensive end to their right, and this allows the right tackle to go straight downfield and block. Threatening to score, Miami would call a play common in the NFL, the bubble screen. But right away we can see an obvious problem. There's only 2 blockers for 3 defenders. Miami solves this by also having the center snap the football and then head downfield along with the left tackle. Touchdown Miami Dolphins, and Achane was money on this drive. And yet again, we see another nuance from this angle. Miami fakes the handoff to Raheem Mostert first, heading the other way. And Kaiser White is assigned to keep an eye on him, and he goes with him, moving him out of the play. It's a well-designed play, and the X's and O's are starting to heat up. And with a 10-point lead, Miami would force a punt from the Arizona Cardinals. But here the Dolphins would make a critical mistake. Snap, fumble, Tua tries to get on it, knocks it out of the back of the end zone, safety, meaning Arizona gets 2 points and the ball. Let's go back to the snap. The motion man gets past the center, it doesn't hit Hill or anything like that. Tua just mishandled the snap. And if you make a mistake like that against this Arizona Cardinals team, they have the ability to make you pay. Wanting to seize back some of the momentum, Miami lines up with a 5-man front, and they send the safety blitz for good measure. When Arizona fakes the handoff to James Conner, the linebackers also step up, and suddenly the Dolphins are looking pretty vulnerable on the back end. Once Bowser realizes this is a pass, he tries to get back in position, almost like he's doing a hit and release on a punt rush or something. But the damage is done. Arizona has sent the speedy Michael Wilson deep, taking the corner and the safety with him. And because the linebacker stepped up, Trey McBride is now past the linebacker level and wide open. Now I mentioned that the Cardinals had faked the run. To help sell the fake, they pull the guard, and he picks up the blitz. And once again, we see James Conner doing a good job of helping with pass protection. And this was one of the few passes that Kyler Murray missed in this game. Still a catchable ball, but high into the outside. It just means that McBride can't catch and run. A few plays later, Arizona would go back to the run fake, and this time the linebackers don't know what to do, so they hesitate. And when you hesitate, you become a spectator. Marvin Harrison Jr. is able to run right in behind them. Again, the Cardinals send Michael Wilson deep, and again the corner and the safety go with him, leaving Marvin Harrison Jr. one-on-one, and it's awfully hard to follow Marvin Harrison Jr. all the way across the field like that. And here we would also see an excellent bit of quarterback play from Kyler Murray. Back foot hits and he reads the deep route first, the defense has to commit, waits for Harrison Jr. to come across, and then throws an absolute dime. What a throw! Touchdown Cardinals!
Perfect!
Perfect indeed, and since Arizona got the 2 points from the safety and the 6 points from the touchdown, now they're only down 2, so here they go for the 2-point conversion. And who better to hand the ball off to than James Conner? Conner leaps, but he stopped just short of the goal line, so the score remains Miami 20, Arizona 18. Let's move ahead to the fourth quarter. Miami would continue to respond, punching it in, again using a bit of misdirection, sending Julian Hill to one side, moving the defense, and letting Raheem Mostert run it to the other side. So Miami goes back up by 2 scores, but once again, the Cardinals are on the move. Wanting to close out the game in the fourth quarter, the Dolphins send a big 6-man blitz, leaving just one safety back deep. And when Kyler Murray has to escape the pressure, the safety rotates deep to that side. But Arizona has found a winning formula, forcing a corner to chase Marvin Harrison Jr. all the way across the field. And Kyler Murray gets him the football, and it's another big play for the Cardinals in this game. And when Murray escapes the pocket, he keeps his eyes downfield, and for Harrison Jr., it's 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown in this game. And finally, Arizona would punch it in with James Conner, making the score 27-25. After a terrific play from Tua Tagovailoa, Miami still has the ball, up 2 points with just 6 minutes to go in the game. Arizona needs to come up with a set of stops so they can get the ball back. The Dolphins come out in the I formation. Suspecting a run, Garrett Williams reacts immediately. And that's a big time tackle, bringing up 2nd down, but the clock continues to run. Dialing it up a notch, the Dolphins come out in the inverted wishbone formation. Undeterred, Arizona sends Budda Baker on the safety blitz. The left tackle pins the defensive tackle to the inside, leaving Victor Dimukeje unblocked. Now, a lot of times teams like to bring this guy to pick up the defensive end, but here, creative as always, Miami sends him out on a pass route. But Kaiser White has his eyes on him the whole way, and the Cardinals make another big tackle. Miami is taking time off the clock, but now they're facing a 3rd down and 9. Mike McDaniel sends his team out in the T formation this time. And Arizona says, enough of this. They send a 7-man blitz, an extraordinarily risky move, leaving just 4 defenders to pick up 5 eligible receivers. And check this out. Miami has called the screen pass. If they can get this ball to A-Chain with blockers out in front, it's probably going to be a 50-yard touchdown. But under tremendous pressure in the pocket, Tua throws this ball too early and the pass falls incomplete, and Arizona has come up with a huge set of stops, and they're going to have a chance to win the game. Miami also decides to use pressure. In addition to their 4-man rush, they also send the corner blitz. And they drop the linebacker down to pick up any sort of a check down to James Conner. This leaves the safety one-on-one against Trey McBride. And look at the stem of McBride's route. It looks like he's going deep. The safety cannot give up a long touchdown in this situation. He has no choice but to backpedal, and when he does, McBride cuts to the sideline. Nine catches, 124 yards for Trey McBride, the game's leading receiver. And we're approaching inside of 3 minutes left to play. Miami stays creative, mixing up their D, this time only rushing with 4. But again, when Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like he's going deep, Jordan Poyer has to backpedal. And with Cam Smith playing an outside trail technique, there is going to be a window to the inside for Marvin Harrison Jr. This is a pretty tight window, but watch Kyler Murray fit this ball in between 3 defenders. What a pass. Approaching the 2-minute warning, they hand it off to Conner. He goes right up the middle. Scrum, fighting for extra yards, and the Cardinals are definitely in field goal range now. And look at this. David Long is lined up right over the center as if he's a nose tackle. And I wonder if Kyler Murray recognized this and changed the play. And we've seen so many of these great physical runs from James Conner. Miami starts using their timeouts, so with 1:48 left to play, Arizona is facing a huge 3rd down and 4. If they can pick up this first down, they can essentially run out the clock and go for the walk-off field goal. So what should the strategy be here? They want to pick up a first down, but they also want to call a play that keeps the clock running in case they don't get it. Here's what they decide to do. They pull the right tackle and use Zay Jones to crack the end, clearing the way for Kyler Murray. Ogba penetrates so quickly though, but once again we see the otherworld abilities of Kyler Murray, makes a 2nd man miss, and then picks up the first down. Wow, essentially a game-winning play from Kyler Murray. And after running almost all of the extra time off the clock, Arizona is set to attempt the game-winning field goal with just 1 second left. The snap, the hold, Chad Rhineland's kick, and it is good, and the Arizona Cardinals win and move into 1st place in the NFC West. Wow, what an incredible, unbelievable game this was. Well, what an incredible game that was. The battle of the X's and O's was just surreal going through this film, and it really speaks to the preparation by the coaches as well as the execution by the players. Alright folks, we are continuing to add new subscribers. Thank you so much. So if you're new here and you like what you see, please subscribe. I also want to take some time to thank those of you who have gone the extra mile to help this channel. I truly appreciate it. And of course, I want to give an extra special shout out to our Patreon supporters. You guys are an essential part of this team. I could not do these videos without you. Thank you so much. All right, next week, the Arizona Cardinals play the Chicago Bears. What an interesting game that is going to be. In Arizona, that's just going to be unbelievable with first place in the NFC West still on the line. I don't know what's going to happen in that game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Either way, you know we are going to be here to break down that film, and I will see you guys then.